So Anthem finally had its big update recently, and we're going to start with the small stuff, the stuff we're used to, and that's the good old Anthem store. Now they added a new store with new currencies and everything for the Cataclysm that just came out. We'll get to the Cataclysm later, so I can get this out of the way now. But as you can see, you don't know what any of this stuff costs. You have to play probably for like 2 or 3 hours to buy like one of the good things in here. And so I bought a couple of them just to see what they were. And let me just show you what 3 hours of gameplay will earn you in this new update. So I went and bought all of the decals. Now thinking, I have to play for a couple of hours, I'm a decently high level Grandmaster 1-2 area. You'd be getting, halfway decent decals for your money, right? Well, these are some of the decals, and aside from the blue one, they're literally all just logos. There's like the N7 Mass Effect one that at least has the stripe on the shoulder and the head, and like the all gold one that I have, and there's some that are pretty cool, but every single one of these new decals is literally a patch on both shoulders and a patch on the chest. That's literally all it is. So you're gonna pay like 3-4 hours of your time to get this patch that you literally can't even see. It's so small while you're playing the game, you can't even see it. So all of these decals are pretty much just a complete waste. So throw all of those things in the store away. And then let's go back to the store just to see if anything else is worth the money. So these first 3, well, one of them is melee, which I don't know why you would care about getting a melee, but whatever. So 2 of them are just currency transactions, so that doesn't count. 2 of them are just textures for your character. 2 of them are emotes, and the other 3 are paints that are insanely ugly. So, this store is pretty much just an entire waste of your time. Don't even bother going in there. And so we've covered Anthem a decent amount of times on this channel, and I've said that I don't really have a problem with the loading screens. Well, that changed with this update. So let me explain it, right? So you get back from your mission, whatever you were doing, your stronghold, whatever. Right, so you load into Fort Tarsus, do whatever you have to do there, and then load back into your forge maybe, and then load into the mission. So that's maybe 3 loading screens, right? Well, now you load out of your mission, okay? You have to go talk to this new guy, which of course is in a new area behind a load screen. So you load into Fort Tarsus, walk 2 minutes in Fort Tarsus to the new area, then go through a loading screen, talk to the guy for 2-3 minutes, listen to the crap he has to say that's just not important, then go back out through the loading screen to get into that room, and then go through another loading screen to get to the mission. So you're going through 4, if you're going to the forge, 5 loading screens now, instead of the 3 to 2 you were going through before. Now I'll give them the loading screens are significantly faster than they were before, so that's nice, but still they need to cut down on them loading screens. But let's get into what everybody's really here for. Let's go ahead and jump into the actual missions and the Cataclysm, see if it's worth even coming back and playing the game. So the easiest way to break this down is there's 3 setup missions and then the main Cataclysm. And you don't have to do these setup missions. It's not like the heists in GTA where they're required. It's just it builds up the story and kind of I have an idea of what actually is happening instead of just going straight into the end Cataclysm fight. But like I said, these missions aren't required, and so this is the first mission, and the first mission, not gonna lie, generic. It's like every other level in the rest of the game. You go here, you fight these guys, go to the next area, fight these guys, and at the end, you fight a slightly harder guy that you literally all 4 of you just use your ult on and kill him in about 3 seconds. So, really, the first mission, not worth it. It's not like you can choose, I want to do mission 1, 2, 3. You kind of got to do them all or none. And so, as far as a loot goes and kind of rewards for the mission, you don't even get, I was playing on Grandmaster 1, and you don't even get Master Class or Masterwork, whatever it's called, loot from finishing this mission. It's all legendary. So this mission is kind of a waste, not great, but they do pick up from here. So mission number 2 starts out kind of slow. It puts you in an area you've been before, kind of one of the first missions of the game, and one of the missions I was in the open demo, whatever it was called. And it has that defend the area, you know, you gotta stay in it for a certain amount of time and secure it, and that's in every other mission in half the game. So it starts off kind of slow, but then it transitions into this other area that, of course, you have been to before also. But it kind of, just the amount of enemies and the visuals it has going on, as well as the different bosses defending the generators that you have to attack, makes this mission way more interesting. I'm not saying it's great, but out of the 3 setup missions they give you, this is where they kind of start to pick up and kind of get to the point where, alright, this is at least fun to play. And jumping to the loot part of this mission, again on Grandmaster 1, no loot that is useful, scrap it all. You know, this might be different from person to person, but personally I didn't get any loot from these first 2 missions that were even worth keeping. None of them were even low-level masterwork items, so I just scrapped them all. But mission 3, that changes. So I might be a little biased here with mission 3, but it starts you with fighting these monster-looking things, and these are my favorite things to fight in the game, other than the big titan things, but I got bored of those eventually. But anyways, these are my favorite things to fight in the game. So you fight 2 of these first. It's fun, you fly through them, it's not hard, they're not the boss, they're just the first thing you come across. Then you fight these to lure out a bigger monster, which of course everyone uses their ult on, so you kill it in about 4 seconds. But there is a bigger monster, it's a new monster actually, so that was interesting to see something new to the game. And, you know, it's kind of just the same thing, but bigger. But it is good, at least they added 1 new enemy type that you see once and probably will never see again. But the main thing I really want to talk about with this mission is the kind of final stage. They add this new mechanic. Now this is not a groundbreaking mechanic. This is literally nothing special. But for Anthem, it's probably their freaking top tier, peak IQ level gameplay design right here, alright? So for Anthem, this is pretty advanced. Nothing special to anything else. But it's this big wall you're seeing going back and forth. Basically in this area, right, you have to grab the relics that they have lying around the map, and you just transport them from point A to point B, kind of like all of the other missions. You know, it's nothing new except for this wall. And what this wall does is, if it hits you while you're carrying the piece, it sets the piece back to its original spot. So basically you have to time the wall, right? And so they're spread out and it's different timing. You know, one person might need to go when it reaches its peak, and one person might need to go when it's pulled all the way back. And you just have to time it, and you know, if you're doing this with randoms and they don't comprehend that, this might take them a while. You know, you might get stuck here for a while. But luckily everyone I played with seemed to understand the concept of this wall. Now, you know, it's nothing crazy, but at least it was something new. They do use it again immediately in the next level, but it's something different to add. I thought it was cool. I thought it was visually pleasing. But onto the loot, alright? Like I said, it's nothing great. I think I got that one Masterwork shotgun, which I already had the exact same weapon. So, you know, they didn't add freaking Destiny or Division 2 level loot where freaking you know, want to get the loot so bad you're going to grind the game. No, the loot's still the same. But, you know, at least from Mission 3 you can get 1 Masterwork item, and the actual Cataclysm is actually pretty good about dishing out loot. And so, you know, like I said in the beginning, you don't have to do the setup missions, so this is either the first thing you're going to be doing or the last thing you're going to be doing. And so you can read all of this stuff if you want, but anyways, let me just sum up the whole thing for you. And so there's this storm going on, right? And while you travel between the points, the storm is happening, and basically if you're in the storm for too long, you'll die, right? And then it's kind of like the Vault of Glass raid for Destiny, if you know what I'm talking about, the original Destiny. They had the yellow things, the lights that you had to shoot or you would die. That's kind of how this is whenever you're in these areas that you saw on the map there fighting. If you don't shoot the rifts when they open, the storm comes back and it'll kill you, right? But if you keep shooting the rifts, it gives you more and more safe time of inside of this bubble shield, safe from the storm. And so you have a timer up there, and as you shoot more rifts and complete stuff, the timer extends and you can get a score to get better loot at the end and all of that. But so as far as the actual objectives within the Cataclysm, so this first one is kind of, you know, you interact with the crystals and they go down, and then you destroy the bigger crystal, And so the first one, you know, it's nothing great. Honestly, you can kind of just speed run through. You can get at least 2 of them done before the enemies even spawn in. So you kind of just gotta run through, activate all the crystals, and then all the enemies will die. So the first one's really nothing special, but if you jump to the second one with the echoes that you have to deliver, now I know what you're thinking, you don't want to have to deliver an echo ever again, but this one, the first half of the mission, you're right, it's your generic echo stuff, but the second half makes you think a tiny bit. And so what you're watching is my first run through. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, and so you stand on these platforms in the first half, right? And then it opens the bubble shield that's around the echo, and then another player has to grab the echo. So you gotta use teamwork. It's literally stand on a button, and then another player goes and grabs the thing. It's nothing special. But the second half of the mission, you have to kind of go underwater and navigate the underwater spot, and it has that yellow wall that we were talking about in the third setup mission, where, okay, well, you have to do this, but you have to find a way to navigate to where you have to drop off this echo without going through this yellow wall. And, you know, it's not hard, but at least it's something to do, you know. So this is the second one. The second one it's pretty fun if you got competent people. This isn't like 3-4 separate missions. This is all one open world event, but it's like separate locations and separate mini missions. So I'm calling them missions, but really it's its own open world event going on. So the third kind of submission in the Cataclysm is this pretty much copy and paste of the third mission, right? So you're taking the relics, and you have to get them past the walls that reset them. And so what I didn't know the first time that you're watching right now is that it was all on a timer, right? And so I was kind of just running around aimlessly. But you grab one, you wait for the rift to open, you shoot the rift, and then it changes what doors are open and what doors are closed. You can deliver the relic, and then you have to fight enemies while you're doing it, of course. And so this one is actually probably the simplest, as far as there really aren't a lot of enemies on this one. You can kind of just sit around. I don't know if my teammates were just distracting everybody away from me, but this is more, you kind of just gotta sit and wait for the doors to open. So this is one of the more boring side parts of the Cataclysm, but it is at least something new with the whole door system, the whole shield system they just integrated in the part 3 of the setup missions. So now you've finished the 3 kind of side quests within the Cataclysm. Now you go to kill the mean lady, right? And yeah, I get absolutely smacked here. I wasn't ready for it. Leave me alone. And so basically, it's kind of the same as the last level, Stronghold, the Heart of Rage one with the big monitor dude, except this lady's attacks are significantly cooler. You know, now I think about it, the one they added, the Stronghold that they added, is also a giant person. It's just a giant, the thing with the long arm thingy, and then this lady, and then the final boss, they're all kind of the same thing. This lady's attacks are way more devastating. She has this firewall attack that you see right now. I didn't know what was going on. I got absolutely smacked by that. But you kind of have to stand directly underneath her to survive that. But her attacks are more devastating, and when they would make you repeat this Cataclysm for a second time, her attacks change. I don't know if it's just because the fight lasted longer the second time, or if her attacks actually change the higher difficulties you have it on, or what's going on there. But she did have a couple of different attacks I saw sometimes I didn't see other times, so that was nice to see. But that's kind of the end. You beat her, you get the loot from her, and honestly, you know, it's been 6 months, right? And it's been out February, end of February it came out, so it's been 6 months, and it took them 6 months to make this. I'm not gonna say this is complete trash, because it's not complete trash, right? Like, it's kind of fun. But I'm not going to say it's great. Like, it's definitely not the best. You know, some of the strongholds, like the Heart of Rage stronghold, I would say is better than this Cataclysm. But it does give you good loot, so that's a plus. But it's really short. Like, some of the Heart of Rage stronghold on the hardest difficulty, or on Grandmaster 1, 2, on those high difficulties, those can take an hour and a half, 2 hours to get through that stronghold. And this, which is a raid, you know, Cataclysm's a raid like in Destiny, so, you know, you'd think that would take longer. Like, raids in Destiny are long, multiple hours. And this, I think it took me 14 minutes to beat the Cataclysm. So it's kind of short, but at least the loot you get is good, right? And so the only big problem I have is you do all the setup missions, right? Like I was talking about. You kind of quote invested in the story, and so you want an ending to it. And so you beat the Cataclysm, and they send you back to Fort Tarsus, and they say, oh well, we don't know why the Cataclysm is still going. We killed the lady, but we don't know why it's still going. But we're scientists, and what scientists do, we research, right? So they tell you got to go back into the Heart of Rage, the Cataclysm, and just keep going back to do, quote, research. So basically, this is the way of saying just keep playing this over and over again. We haven't come up with anything else in the game. So basically, all there is to just do this over and over again. You don't get any reward for completing the story. There's no satisfying ending. You just kind of got to keep doing that over and over. So, from doing all of that, you get the currency that I showed at the beginning of the video to buy your completely useless decals. And like I said, as far as the loot goes, this does pay out pretty well. I got, 5 pieces of Masterwork gear. Now, none of this, well, that's not true. One of those things were better than what I had. The rest were all either the same or worse than what I had. So, I don't really understand how you're supposed to hit those high levels, because I'm kind of stuck at Grandmaster 2, but, it's not important. So, if we were to give this Cataclysm, a rating after 6 months, it wouldn't be too hot, It took them a long time. They spent a third of the time it took them to make the entire game on this Cataclysm. Because, I talked about that article. It took them, 16 months to make the entire game because they rushed it. So they've literally made this in pretty much a third of the time they made, the whole game. And this is it's like a 14-minute level on one of the highest difficulties. So, it's kind of disappointing. I wouldn't say it's worth getting back into the game if you weren't a fan of it when it launched. You're not going to like it now. But if you just wanted more content, you want something to play with your friends for a day over the weekend, on a Saturday, this would be something to kind of hop on, do it once, and then just leave it. But this hopefully will be the last Anthem video. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, if they release big content updates, obviously I'll go over it. Or if the game gets drastic loot changes that make it significantly better, I'll go over it. But, I'm not going to go over the store weekly like I was doing. But speaking of that, while we're here, the regular store that we've made multiple videos on, that's still absolute garbage. They got, like Endor Stormtrooper, camo outfits for, the Javelin, so nothing cool is in there. But, that's all I have to say about this Cataclysm update. Let me know if you guys think it made the game better, or if you think it's absolute trash, or if you just don't care about Anthem. I get all of the above, and I hope you guys enjoyed talking about Anthem again.